Hello and welcome, it's We Love Betting here. Robbie Williams is in the background, but we're here to talk about Week 2 of the Premier League. My name is Chris Graham, and with me is my ex-colleague and good friend Nick Watts. How are you doing, Nick?
I'm good. We're wearing the We Love Betting colours this week. Clearly green is a winning colour.
It's deeply embarrassing. deeply embarrassing. I bought this yesterday actually. My flatmate said, "Oh, it makes you, it really suits you, the colour." And so I thought I'd wear it today and get Nick's approval, but it turned up in the same colour.
Yeah, it must be in. I don't know. Maybe we're trendsetters.
Absolutely. Anyway, enough of this talk about cosmopolitan type issues. I move on to football. More important, Southampton Wigan is your first of 3 Premier League tips.
Sure.
Southampton are just a shade of odds against 11 to 10. Wigan 12 to 5. The draw 23 to 10. But you're not going the win market, are you?
I'm not. I am a big fan of Southampton of Nigel Adkins, and I've typically been a little bit down on Wigan over the time. Certainly, we did the Sporting Bet podcast. Never was a big fan. Didn't really feel they're a Premier League club, but they've defied all expectations, particularly my own, over the years, and I have to start giving them credit, and that's what I'm doing this year. And so it's with a somewhat heavy heart that I'm not going to back that 11 to 10 for Southampton to win, despite an incredible home record back in their Championship season last year. It was the best in the division. They won 16, drew 4, and lost just once at St Mary's Stadium. A stadium I should say I'm rather fond of, having gone to university down in Southampton. So they scored a lot of goals last year as well, 80 goals plus, which only West Ham managed to do as well in that division. So lots to say on top of their performance against Man City, that they can score goals in this division as well. Wigan, their away record was pretty dismal last year in many respects. The weird thing about it was that because of that late burst of form which we saw towards the end of the year, it actually ended up being the 10th best in the division. But when you look at the fact they lost 10 times, that was the same number as Wolves did, and only one better off than Bolton and Blackburn. So they're still a bit of a streaky team. Yeah, I think there's a lot of positives about Wigan at the moment, but I do think they're vulnerable to conceding goals as well. 73% of Wigan's away games last year featured over 2.5 goals. 56% of Southampton home games did, and you can get over 2.5 goals at around the 10 to 11, even money mark I've seen on some of the exchanges kicking around. So there's definitely a bit of value in there for me. A few other stats kicking around that Mark O'Hare was very kind to share with me. Wigan, they've in just once in their last away games have they kept a clean sheet. The last 18 away games, I should say, they've only failed to score in 1 of 14 as well. So they've got a pretty decent record of scoring and conceding as well. So for me, that over 2.5 goals mark looks absolutely superb, Chris.
Definitely. Yeah, I've been hearing loads of stuff about people complimenting Wigan.
Weird, isn't it?
People are forgetting about the first 3 quarters of last season when they were absolutely awful. That's what I've got to say. You know what I mean? It's, again, this short-termism that really gets my back up. Anyway, next tip, and I think Spurs are on this one, aren't they?
Yeah, this one makes me feel a little bit sick. But you have to look at Spurs' home record. Yeah, it was a poor start away to Newcastle. Tough game, but to lose it, they would have been disappointed without a doubt. Adebayor's obviously come in since then. Will he be match fit? I'm not entirely sure. But the fact is, Spurs' home record was second only to the Manchester clubs last year. And I mean, you consider that they're around the sort of 1 to 2 mark here. Arsenal 1 to 3 against Sunderland last week, and really, when you actually compare the home records, Spurs should be shorter here. So there presents a bit of an opportunity. Obviously, I'm not really one to go for a kind of 2 to 1 on shot, but it does present an opportunity in the handicaps for me. Yes, West Brom made a really impressive start against Liverpool. I tipped them for relegation, and they've kind of thrown that back in my face based on that first game. But it's only one game, and I'm still prepared to oppose them this season, definitely. And you look at Spurs' record. As I say, great record at home. They were particularly clinical against the smaller sides. Looking at the stats here I've got in front of me, 10 of their 13 home wins paid out on a -1 handicap, so they won by at least 2 clear goals. And against bottom half teams, 6 of their 7 wins came and paid out that handicap as well. And it's 7 to 5 for Spurs minus a goal here, which I think is a fantastic price for a team that's got Adebayor coming back in. It's still got the likes of Gareth Bale, Sigurdsson, Aaron Lennon, loads of attacking talent. and it's certainly not a poor side just because they've lost their first game, and maybe West Brom being a little bit overestimated just on the basis of having been in Liverpool. So I also know West Brom have got a terrible record in London as well. Another one Mark O'Hare chucked my way. I've got a lot to thank him for this week, it seems, but apparently they've won 3, drawn 8 and lost 22 of their last trips to London. So not great outings for them in the capital, and I expect Spurs to win by at least 2 clear goals.
So West Brom hate London, and like pretty much 90% of the population in this country hate London. Newcastle had a similar record back in the 90s, a terrible record in London. Absolutely. Anyway, interesting stuff, and I agree with you about West Brom. Again, you know, people saying Steve Clarke, a great appointment after what happened on Saturday. Come back in May and speak about it. Come back in May. We'll talk about it then. Third and final appointment tip. Take it away.
Okay, well, we're going for the big game, Chelsea against Newcastle, and the 5:30 kick-off this one. And this is purely just a value punt for me. Newcastle are way too big. You can get them at around 6-1 in places, and I just don't think that's giving Newcastle the respect that they deserve. Bear in mind, this is a Newcastle side that won 2-0 at Stamford Bridge at the end of last year. They haven't lost in 4 trips to Stamford Bridge in League and Cup. They won a thrilling 4-3 game in the Carling Cup as well a couple of years ago. So they've definitely got a bit of a record at Stamford Bridge in recent times. And, you know, Chelsea have definitely shown vulnerability. Okay, Eden Hazard has looked fantastic. They've scored goals, but they've looked vulnerable to me. They definitely could have conceded against Wigan. They conceded 2 against Reading. Petr Cech, what's going on with that guy? I mean, it was an absolutely abysmal mistake for Danny Guthrie's goal, wasn't it? And
so many mistakes in the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be fair to him, it's probably since he had his head injury.
Yeah, 6 years ago.
Yeah, but I think maybe it's age then, I don't know, but there's certainly signs of decay in his performances for me, and there's a lot to be positive about for Newcastle. A big thing for them is the fitness of Colaccini. From what I can estimate of what Pardew's been saying, it seems like he will be fit for this game, and that's absolutely crucial in my opinion. You can't have James Perch at centre-back against Chelsea and all their attacking talents. Could be goals in this one, but then again Newcastle could come and park the bus, and I think they're a good enough side to do that and maybe play on the counter-attack. I just think Newcastle being too big, it's worth looking at the 6-4 for them in the double chance. Covers obviously the draw and the win market there, and I think they've got a decent chance of getting something. Interesting one I thought was the fact that you can get them double chance at half time at 4-5, so they're either winning or drawing at the break, and that basically means that after about 20 minutes, as long as they're not losing, you can back Chelsea then to be winning at half time and have profit regardless. So for me, you should be looking at that if you're interested in a trading opportunity. If you just want to have a pump before the game, I'd go Newcastle double chance. I think it's 6-4 is the best price you find around for that.
Well, one small worry is that they're playing a Automatus in the Europa League. It sounds like a bad in Transformers. But they're playing on Thursday night and they're playing again on Saturday too, which seems a bit unfair.
It does a little bit. I mean, normally they play on a Sunday, don't they? Can you imagine that they're going to play their absolute best side on Thursday? Surely they're going to rotate a little bit.
At home, ban, CC, stuff
exactly.
Like that. So I'm sure it'll be fine. We'll stick with next. So wrap up. What's your 3 tips?
So I'm going Southampton and Wigan to have a bit of a goal feast. Over 2.5 goals, around the 10 to 11, even money mark if you're quick enough. Tottenham against West Brom, I can see Spurs winning this comfortably, so look at them at -1 handicap. 7-5 I think is a really big price. And then finally just Newcastle, because they're just straight up value here, and you can get them double chance against Chelsea 6-4.
Nice one. Cheers.